Over the weekend, we also found out the Falcons are hiring Alex Van Pelt as their quarterbacks coach, which means Kevin Stefanski has taken his offensive coordinator from last year, Tommy Rees, made him the offensive coordinator in Atlanta, who will be calling plays. He's hired his former offensive line coach, Bill Callahan, who left to go coach with his son. And now he has hired his former quarterback coach, Alex Van Pelt. Scott, tell me, when I look at this, Kevin Stefanski is saying the roster wasn't good enough without coming out and saying the roster wasn't good enough, because you've got the same coaching staff that you're assembling with your chance to coach the Falcons.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors here, David. Number one is, I think you're right. I mean, I wouldn't argue with Kevin Stefanski that the roster wasn't good enough, and I'm not sure Andrew Barry. Well, Andrew Barry would argue that the roster was better than the record showed. I don't know if he'd argue that it was good enough, given the weaknesses and the holes on offense. But it also points to, the last time that group was together was 2023. The Browns won 11 games and went to the playoffs. So they had success. Now, Bill Callahan, the Browns let him leave to go join up with his son, who'd been hired by the Titans. So that made sense. And then you had the Alex Van Pelt thing, which felt weird at the time. They just won 11 games with 5 quarterbacks. They make a big adjustment there after 4 seasons in 2 playoff trips. And a lot of it was about finding the right guy to coach Deshaun Watson and get a system that took advantage of Watson's strengths. And Ken Dorsey was brought in to do that, and he only lasted 1 year, and it wasn't a success, and Watson got hurt again. So it didn't even matter. He struggled, and then it didn't matter because he wasn't on the field anymore. So I don't know if this is an admission that Kevin Stefanski, or is a sign that Kevin Stefanski didn't really want to part ways with Alex Van Pelt in the first place. But, I was always looking to see if Stefanski would hire Van Pelt, because I thought they were close. I thought they did a good job. I think Van Pelt is a valuable guy to have on your staff. And the final point is, I think Stefanski's putting together a really quality staff down there.
Yeah, I would agree. And that's kind of the conclusion I drew is, if you move on from a guy and your next job, you hire him back and he's coming back, that's a sign that he knew it wasn't. Either you're admitting, boy, I made a huge mistake, which I don't necessarily think it is, or you were forced to do that, which is...
Right now, the role is different.
Right.
Right? Like, he was coordinator, now he's quarterback's coach. So there could be a happy medium there where, after 2023, I think I remember there being rumblings that Stefanski offered Van Pelt a different role. He didn't want it. Maybe Stefanski just felt like it was time for a change at that role, and now he's got Tommy Rees, but he loves AVP working with quarterbacks. So, both things could be true, but my takeaway is the same as yours, that it wasn't all a Kevin Stefanski decision to move on from Alex Van Pelt.